Cool.
We're live on video. This would probably be a
Awesome.
good time for me to start Audacity.
Wouldn't hurt.
Might even help.
Might. No promises.
How are my levels? Ooh, a little spicy.
Huh?
A little spicy. Fuck yeah. Okay. I'm good. You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Count us in.
3, 2, 1, record.
Welcome to the show, everybody. Looks like this is episode 93. Aden Richards, what's happening?
Not much. Just got home from making dinner with a friend, and it was tasty.
Is that why we're recording this so late?
Yep.
All right.
Because I actually had I actually had things every night this week. I know it's like shocking. Social obligations. Usually I try and go for 1 out of 5, maybe 2.
Yep.
Somehow I got 5 out of 5. Rough.
It's good practice for ESL One Los Angeles.
It's true.
All right. I will remind our listeners while we warm up the episode that in our Discord, making plans for a Glimpse Pod breakfast Saturday morning in Los Angeles. That is the weekend of ESL One Los Angeles. Aden, what's your favorite breakfast food or brunch food?
Huh.
And are those different questions for you?
No, the same question. It's a really tough. I when I order breakfast, I have a really hard time choosing between I like omelets, I like waffles, I like pancakes. It's I'm very I like the very basic things, but I like them all a lot. Typically I try and I guess my favorite part of it off is like good hash browns.
Oh yeah.
Right? But you can't just have like hash browns. Like hash browns have to be just the side, you know what I mean? They can't be like the whole meal. Okay. There it is.
Not unless you want
whatever I get, I will be getting hash browns on the side. Promise.
What
Guaranteed.
makes good hash browns, Aden?
A little crispiness. I like to have some stuff in it. Like definitely like I'm an onion in there. Maybe a little pepper. I don't mind a little tomato, even some mushrooms, whatever. We'll mix it up. Little veggies in there.
Careful with those tomatoes, man. That can ruin the crispiness. And the crispiness
is
true. The only factor that really matters.
I think onions matter some. The rest of them, I think onions matter some.
Onion lives matter. All right. By the way, those of you who are already Discord members, I really want to thank you for clamoring to our defense when we really casually mentioned how Capitalist doesn't like listening to Dota podcasts, and everybody was like, fuck that guy, because Dota podcasts are great, especially the Glimpse. And my reaction and yours to Cap's comments were like, yeah, most other Dota podcasts are pretty rough. And I mean, I don't even love listening to ours because it's our voices on there. So I can perfectly understand his position, especially because he gets to talk about Dota with much more talented people than us.
It's true. And also, I someone did make a point like, man, I don't want to listen to teaching podcasts. I get it.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Nestico.
Yeah, I don't want to listen to. Well, he does, but the rest of us don't.
Well, and then
us normal folk.
Right. Much credit to Dan Offen for explaining what a busman's holiday is. That would be taking a vacation to just go do your job again. Mm-hmm. And that would be a pretty apt description for what listening to a Dota podcast would be like for Capitalist. So sure. If you want to get in on all the fun of defending our honor when we have
attacking it, honestly, we're not really picky, or attacking our honor, whatever. We're not picky.
Exactly. But if you want to get in on that, those good times, you can join our Discord, and the link is at glimpsepod.com.
We know we won't hear this. This is a special invitation, personal invitation. Capitalists, if you want to come on and insult us, we will be happily bear it.
Roast the shit out of us. It would be great content. Think about it. Leaf Eater, if you're listening, open invitation for you as well. If you're not a Discord person, or if you just prefer your online content with a little more politics, maybe you find us on Twitter. Find Aden at Omega Man Dota, not tweeting about politics. Find me on Twitter, also not tweeting about politics.
All right. Side note here. Question: do you feel weird when you have like a really good thought and you put it in the Discord, and then you're like, man, maybe I should tweet that as well. But is it weird if I like tweet my own? Like, is like
You stepping on
sketchy
the
to like?
content?
Are you if you tweet yourself? Is that like liking your own post? Like if you tweet your own Discord post, I don't know. Or copy it. Feel a little dicey there. What's the protocol?
I agree, it's dicey. For example, actually, I was really moved by the Malcolm Gladwell book I just finished, Talking to Strangers, and I felt the need to tweet about it and post in Discord about it. But I made them like native posts in their own ecosystem. So I made a Discord post and a Twitter post, and they had their own differences.
Yeah, but sometimes I just have the same idea, and I just feel like I'm whatever. It doesn't matter. All right.
I think the people want to hear what you have to say, Aden.
Okay.
All right. Last reminder, you guys already know we would have stopped making this show a long time ago if it weren't for audio engineer Jason. If you want to show your appreciation to audio engineer Jason, buy a t-shirt at glimpsepod.com/merch. 100% of the proceeds from those t-shirt sales go to audio engineer Jason. And with that, I think I'm going to introduce this episode. Coming up in this episode, we have a list of what non-Dota podcasts we listen to. Windstrike picking up a new roster. Match fixing in China. How Aden and Lorton know each other. And Dota 2 is about to die, Aden.
I've heard that.
But first, it was just a scant 3 weeks ago that the 2021 DPC format was not announced. This was not on the Dota 2 blog. It was on Liquipedia. So
it's leaked. You could say it's leaked.
It was not leaked. It was a trial balloon. A trial balloon was
masquerading as a leak.
A trial balloon was released out into the wild, and alert listener Yeti 007 would like to know, what do you think of the upcoming DPC format, which has 2 tiers of regional league play? We're going to have fewer majors, but we'll be getting a weekly dose of League Dota. I think we need to find a better word than league, since it's like a direct reference to League of Legends.
Sure.
All right. Will it have a positive effect on the scene? Will this help tier 2 Dota, or will people just tune in for the big events just like before?
You want to hear? All right. So let's go step by step through it. First of all, 3 majors. I mean, I kind of like the 3 major system.
Yeah, back when we had 3 majors plus TI, those were some great days of Dota.
Yeah, it was great days of Dota.
Majors were very meaningful.
I mean, here's the problem with 3 majors, if it's a problem. Like 3 majors, the world for that lives and dies on whether the other events are meaningful, right? Whether good teams show up to them. If we only have Team Secret playing 3 events a year, I will not be happy.
TI.
4 with TI. That won't be cool. Right. But when we had 3 majors, we also had like 3 or 4 big ESL tournaments. Right. You know, and this, by the way, this of course is if you've read my blog, which I haven't posted on it forever. But right. My original DPC format was like only 4 majors. And I asked for minors to be a much bigger thing. So like make minors like those ESL tournaments. So I think it's perfectly capable of working. Meanwhile, like what else do we have? We have regional leagues instead of qualifiers. Deep down, what's the difference? Like in like they're going to be, I mean, like there's a difference in function, how it's presented, but it's this, like you can call them a league. They're regional qualifiers in a league format.
They're regional qualifiers that last longer. And frankly, that's one reason I like it, because if a team has a great weekend like NIP or a rough weekend like Alliance, that's the difference.
Or NIP again, we play.
Yeah, exactly. That's the difference between them making or missing a major. And so, you know, especially in our minds, we like to reward sustained performance throughout the year. And I feel like a league system is a much better representation of sustained performance.
Sure. I mean, I just think that like ultimately what it is, it's going to be regional teams playing each other with the bonus of like, you know, whoever wins gets qualified for something. And it's just the games are spread out. And I'm fine with that. Like, I mean, like
maybe this will help our watch parties, because if there's there's Friday
game of the
night,
week or
Friday night Dota, like in the EU league, and there's like some headline matches, some Yeah, some secret versus OG suddenly looking like a budding rivalry could be happening. That could be sweet.
Yeah, and I mean, you're about to find this out, but like, we're gonna briefly talk about like Team Chaos and their qualifier run. I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't watch a whole lot of Chaos's games. And you know why I didn't want, even when they played good teams, you know why I didn't watch a lot of Chaos's game? Because I'd already watched like Secret and Liquid and Nigma all play that day and VP. And it was like, yo, this is not that special anymore, right?
Yeah.
So spreading out's cool. But I mean, like in terms of function, the league is gonna have the same basic function. I just think it's gonna be better spread out for entertainment, probably for teams too.
Has the potential to be better for sure.
Yeah.
And then they've got this 2 tiers, the promotion and relegation system, which is a super interesting solution to the problem of we're NIP and we're going to change regions 3 times this year. Because well, if you want to switch to a new region, totally fine. Just go through open qualifiers, join the tier 2 league, and work your way up.
Right. And unless you're in China, you'll be able to do that pretty easily.
Yeah, seems that way.
So like, whatever. I don't know.
And
I mean,
who knows? Because this system is more transparent, you could even see a couple more teams moving to South America potentially. I mean, they still have the ping issues, but it would seem that, you know, with the cloudiness of whether or not Valve's going to allow it, it seems like Valve's going to allow you to play wherever you want now. And so that could encourage people to move around more, or at least move to underserved regions more.
Sure. Could happen. I mean, I mean, it would be interesting. I think like most interesting if like a Chinese team moved.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the most likely outcome, or most reasonable. Like, I mean, and they didn't even have to move that far. What if they just went to SEA?
Potentially, it could work.
Yeah. So, no, see, I mean, again, this is the classic. Like, I think this DPC system has fewer things I outright am like, that's crappy than some of the previous announcements have.
Well,
like
right.
the first one was like, that's so many games or so many tournaments, and it was so many tournaments.
Yeah,
the second one,
events or something.
Yeah, the most recent one was like, what the fuck? Minors suck, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, this one I don't inherently have anything that sucks. That doesn't mean we're not going to discover other things that like don't work, right? So I mean, I made it perfect, but you know, I'm cautiously optimistic. Why not?
Well, and Captain Miko asked in the Discord, actually didn't ask. They asked more Dota, but people still don't care about tier 2 teams. Do you think there's any chance that people will watch the tier 2 leagues any more than they watch minors, or as much as they watch minors?
Look, not that. So again, we have this tier system idea thing that we have in our head, and it's really problematic because unless you define what you describe as tier 2 or tier 1 Dota, whatever. Look, teams that have previously been referred to as tier 2 Dota are, I believe, going to be in the tier 1 league. Right? Tier 2 Dota is teams like Na'Vi, teams like, you know, NIP right now, teams like Business Associates, right?
Yeah.
Those are tier 2 Dota teams. They're going to be in the tier 1 league. So
do we know how many teams are in each level?
No, but Business Associates is, I mean, so I guess maybe like NIP and EU might be top 5 or something like that. Maybe they don't get in. Well, but I suspect
let's guess it's 8 and 8. So like 8 tier 1 and 8
so
tier 2 per
yeah,
region.
So all tier 2 Dota teams are going to be in the tier 1 leagues. Like there's not a single team you can tell me, like, even in China, the 9th best team is not what you would call tier 2 Dota. They're lower than that.
Oh yeah,
in my opinion. And so like, are people going to care about the tier 2 leagues? No, they're not going to care about it. It's going to be like watching fucking open qualifiers. Like,
although the promotion relegation system, it could be cool. There are going to be some high stakes matches where a team that doesn't want to get relegated is on the cusp, and that could be fun.
That's a tier 1 game.
Oh, for sure.
Right. So I mean, I do think it's going to be. So if the question is, are we going to care more about like Business Associates versus not even fighting, like, you know, the team, like team Zlotl, like, yeah, actually maybe we might care more about that. Are we going to care more about like Gambit versus, I mean, Gambit's like, but Gambit's a tier 2 team. Gambit versus Spirit, maybe, because I think the CIS region, that might be the most fascinating tier 1, tier 2 split,
dude.
Right? So I mean, like, yes, I think it will help tier 2, but like I want to be very clear, like tier 2 for me, when I think tier 2 Dota, I'm not thinking tier 2 like this league system. I'm thinking tier 2 what I think of tier 2. So
you're thinking teams that get like 9th to 12th at a major.
Yeah, at their peak. Yeah, exactly.
At their peak, for sure.
All right. So
okay, moving on.
So maybe. Long story short.
Yeah, cool. Cautiously optimistic then?
Sure.
Wonderful. This is our qualifier recap. Oh, did I not mention that in the preview of what we were going to talk about?
You did not, which was hilarious. I did notice and thought about saying something, but you're on a roll.
It's all good. This is a qualifier recap. And the first region that I think we should talk about is Europe.
Yeah.
Now,
all right, let's do it. Can I throw a little, just like a thought out there before we start?
I would love that.
All right. Qualifier recaps are really hard for two reasons. One, there's so many games. Like some of these teams I didn't even see play once, right? The second reason is that stats are way less interesting for qualifiers because the matchups are so varied.
Yes.
Right. So we just you have to only look at very broad trends, and there's a lot of give and take. So I just want to be very clear that you're going to see me waffle on some things, yeah, so I don't know, maybe, but part of that's just because the information we have is pretty limited. And to be perfectly frank, I don't have time to go watch all 9 of NIP's game, 13 of NIP's game to see what they're doing. Right? We don't have. I saw a little bit of NIP play, but we don't have all that information.
Yep. And with all that in mind, let's try to keep it light and breezy, which is obviously our style.
We're gonna try really hard, and of course, It took us only 16 minutes to get here, right?
Oh, totally. All right, so I'm gonna recap the news very briefly, Aden. The 3 teams that qualified for the minor are Secret, OG, and fucking NIP. pardon my language there. Over aggressive mode, and then qualifying for the minor was Alliance over Team Nigma. So my first question for you is, how impressed were you by the new OG's qualifying run?
So here's the funny thing about that is I saw very little of OG play. You might think why? Isn't OG one of the teams you wanted to watch? Yes, but first, one thing is that they had the shortest average game length of all teams. It's sometimes you're oh, I'm going to miss the laning stage, but I'll check in with them at 25 minutes and watch the end of their game. Yeah, the game might be fucking over. It happened a bunch. I'd be okay, that game just ended. Let's switch over to OG, and OG, there's a 10K net worth lead at 15 minutes. I'm well, fuck it. I'm not going to watch that. Let's go find some other game. Right? So very impressed. I was on the record as saying I thought they were going to start off slow, maybe have some growing pains. And part of the reason I thought that is because I thought that OG would wisely take a long view on this. They're we're not going into this first major to crush everyone, right? We are building towards TI because they've done that 2 years in a row, right? Well,
yes.
Last year, certainly, right? So I thought that was what they were going to do. And then lo and behold, they came out and beat the living fuck out of everyone.
That's right.
For that, I didn't. I mean, other than having the shortest average time of all teams to make the minor and major, it wasn't all qualifiers, but all teams that qualified for something. I didn't see anything that really struck me as they were doing anything amazing. They still have the OG thing of they're really good at capitalizing on advantage. Most of the games that aren't outright stomps, you see there's one team fight around 15 to 22 minutes. I actually wrote it down. There's one team fight. They played 10 games. If you look at it, in 5 of those games, 5 of their 9 wins, there was a moment between 12 and 22 minutes where all of a sudden there's you can see the graph. All of a sudden there's 6 deaths in their team, and the graph just shoots and never recovers. It's they've definitely got this sense of. I think they've still got that OG sense of timing. Here's the moment where even though we're even with the other team, our timing is hitting. Let's win a fight, win the game. So that's what I got out of it.
Awesome. Love it. Yeah, and their fundamentals looked great. 16 kills for every 10 death. The one stat that stuck out to me was Sumail, who we associate with killing people. Highest tower damage on the team by a lot, and Troll being his number 1 most played hero seems to be taking to the safe lane just fine.
Yeah. So also Troll was sort of interesting. It wasn't a hero that we knew was coming, and it was played around a little bit, but it's sort of interesting to see him play that a lot.
Absolutely. All right. Secret does not really deserve mention. They went 10-0 in qualifiers, and I thought that was fine.
Yeah, they're pretty good. I mean, they met expectations.
They met
I wouldn't say they exceeded any expectations.
Nope, agreed. But I'm curious about NIP. So if I had asked you to list your teams most likely to qualify for the major going into this, where would NIP have been? I mean, they would have been
just in EU or in overall.
Well, just in EU, but they would have been behind Liquid, Alliance, and
I mean, they would have been
Enigma,
sixth, right?
Think. Yeah,
they would have been sixth.
Yeah. And OG,
and
OG was a wild card, but we would have had them
I'm saying
OG.
I'm saying they would have been sixth for me, and I think I was cautiously optimistic about their lineup, and I still would have been sixth. Mostly because I really liked the way Lelis played for Beast Coast.
Yes,
so I was happy about that. And I like the Hawk as well. So what do we know about NIP here? A couple interesting notes here. First of all, very slow pace. This is PPD's slow style. They averaged only 20 kills per game, and their wins were on average 40 minutes long, and their losses were 30 minutes long. So they still want to stretch that game out, play the economy game. This is no surprise from a PPD game, or PPD team. Tanner was really their position one. Averaged. He was ahead on average about 500 gold at 10 minutes ahead of Dahak, and had a 50 GPM higher over the course of the whole game. So those both things are sort of interesting tidbits, but I'm not sure there are reasons for their success. I mean, the reality for me is that Universe played really well as a 4.
Yeah.
Like, that's the number one reason. I mean, he was leading the team at early points in the game, not at the end of the game, leading the team in kill involvement. He also had the second fewest deaths on the team at 20 minutes. And he's creating space. It's hard to do both. Universe was Universe as a 3 was sometimes criticized by me for having really few deaths, but also not being involved in that much stuff. Yeah, he's having impact and few deaths, and if you can do that, that's fucking awesome. So, props to Universe there.
Yep. Quick stat for you: Lelis and Universe both had higher KDAs than 33, Boxy, and Mind Control.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Seems to be working. All right, NIP. We'll see you at the major.
Yeah.
Said no one ever up until this minute. All right, Enigma. Not only did they not qualify for the major, they went to a best of 5 with Alliance and were found wanting. And Alliance, I mean, as you have been repetitive in telling us, high floor, low ceiling team. So if Enigma can't beat them, I have to ask, what is the panic level?
All right. So that Alliance series didn't bother me that much. I mean, by the way, Epic series, if you want to watch one series from this qualifiers, watch that one.
Game 5.
Certainly game 5. But even the whole overall thing was pretty good.
For sure. Sorry, I guess was I glossing over their Enigma losing 0-2 to aggressive mode and going 1-1 against Viking.gg?
So here's they're in a loaded region. So normally, if you just said, oh, Enigma finished 6th, NIP was surprising, it's not awful. 5th, they finished 5th in this region. That's not awful. 4 teams ahead of them. NIP was a surprise, but whatever. 4 teams ahead of them. Sure. And Liquid wasn't. Liquid was actually behind them, so they finished ahead of Liquid. Correct. Here's the problem. Here's what I'm worried about most for them. So I'm at a 7 out of 10 panic mode for them.
Okay.
They had the easy group and they finished 3rd in it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem, right? Alliance finished 4th in their group. Their group was much better, right? They had only 1 win over a good team. That's the other top 5 teams. They beat Liquid 2-0 after getting 2-0'd by them previously. Alliance, Liquid. Now, here's the reasons why I'm not as panicked. Other than TI, were they good last year? Not really.
Shut the fuck up, Aden. There were 4 teams that went to any grand finals last year.
Okay, they made 1 grand final, but they were bad.
They made 2. Oh, right. 2 major grand finals and the TI grand finals. So that'd be
right. But hold on. So sorry.
Of the 6 tournaments they were in.
Right. You're right. I apologize. But let's remember, they were bad enough. They kicked Matumba Man.
Yes.
That means a lot. And 2 of those were after they kicked Matumba Man. So I'm thinking almost before that. Right. That's they went to 1 grand final, which was good, by the way. But here's the reason why not to panic. Alliance, Liquid, OG, and Secret all seem like they're going to qualify directly for TI.
Mm-hmm.
So Nigma really has to just beat NIP one series. Can they do it? And we know they can turn it on like they did last year, or at least we think that. So that's why I'm not as panicked. But the one thing that still kind of is going to eat at me a little bit is that the same thing happened at the minor, which they won. They start off slow at these tournaments. Their group stage is never that good. Here they struggled and they had to try and come back, and they almost did it. They almost pulled it off, beating Alliance. But they seem to need to warm up for a long time, and against really good teams, that you're not going to get that chance. Like big tournaments, you're just going to get knocked out before you can do anything. No, so that would be my concern.
Yeah, I agree with that. So I was trying to concoct in my head a story where that would make sense and would fit the data. And I get to thinking about boot camps. And so I'm thinking about what does Team Secret look like when they're going through a qualifier like this? Like they're probably having a mini boot camp a few days beforehand. They're probably at the one of these NVIDIA headquarters gaming setups where they've got they're all in the same room. They've all got the pristine equipment. They're playing their best strategies. They're fueling their bodies with the sports nutrition, getting a good night's sleep. Probably have their sports science staff tracking their sleep. And then when you think about what are the tier 2 teams doing, probably a lot less. And then I'm thinking about Nigma. All right, let's just say for the sake of argument that they're not practicing at all right now. They're going out until late at night, probably maybe in some shady underground poker games, like in Croatia or something. Maybe they gambled away GH's computer the night before qualifiers started, and then to win it back, they had to put up the Aegis of Champions, and then Kuro's getting a 7 of hearts on the river to win the computer back. I'm just trying to concoct a scenario where that could explain them playing this bad, because the talent level it does not match with the results.
It doesn't match those results. Teams go stale. VP went stale. VP actually by the way did not crumble. Did not have this level. They performed badly at TI, and they struggled at times last season. But teams go stale. Maybe it's time.
It's possible.
Happens. Players go stale.
Totally. All right, so we need to move on from Europe, but you should give us a couple sentences on Alliance, couple sentences on aggressive mode, if you have anything to say.
Alliance is fine. I'm not worried about them. They lost to OG, NIP, and Liquid, and then they beat Liquid Enigma. Yep. So they went 2-3 against good teams. Mm-hmm. That's Alliance, whatever. Totally. And aggressive mode, they had the easy group. Man, they don't deserve that. You put them in the other group, they finished last. Come on. And by the way, yes, I'm referring to Nigma as the easy group, an easy team. So, good. All right, where are we going next?
What about China?
Let's do China.
Okay.
Yeah, of the most recent qualifiers, since everything was delayed.
Yep. Coronavirus continues to strike. It's tough. All right, so the news.
You're going full robot mode on me, sir.
How about now?
Perfect.
Cool.
I didn't catch most of what you said.
Oh, that's fine. I said the news. Vici Gaming sitting out this cycle. LGD losing again in open qualifiers. That means your major teams are IG, RNG, and eHome, and Aster will be your minor team, beating Newbie 3-0 in the grand finals of the minor qualifier.
Rough for Newbie after they got 0-2, after they beat them right before that. But what you can do.
What indeed. All right, so I feel like we have to hit on LGD real quickly. So they traded out Ame for ASD, and then they lost not in just in a best of 1, they lost in a best of 3. So what is the panic level for LGD?
I'm at 8.5 out of 10.
Right there with you.
All right, here's the reason not to panic. Open qualifiers in China are hard. Here's the reason to panic. They didn't just not succeed. They dropped this. I have a big theory here. Is how teams act tells you more about what's going on in the team than what our personal observations can be. My theories, right? Liquid kicked Matumba Man last year because things weren't working, not because Like, I mean, we were sitting there. If they just continue to be like, we're super confident we're going to do well at TI, like we're not making any changes, we're just fucking around right now. Like they could have done that, and I would have been like, wow, this team is just like, I would have believed it. But once they kicked Matoma, man, they were like, we are deeply troubled by this. You don't kick Ame because, like, right? Because you don't think he's playing poor or something. There's something else deeper going on there. And so that makes me concerned about them. And the two losing the open qualifiers twice is just like on top of that.
Yep.
So, and also the other downside of this is that, remember, so Vici Gaming and IG are likely already qualified for TI. Decent chance we get one more Chinese team to qualify directly.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know yet who that team might be, but I'd say it's a pretty solid chance. And so where does that leave us? Well, it leaves us, they're still going to have a couple real teams to play against in qualifiers. It's no guarantee. So, yeah, little panicky. What do you, Lorton, if you had to say right now, what are the odds LGD is at TI?
Gosh. I mean,
it's a tough one. I'm glad I answered. I'm glad I asked it and I'm not answering it.
No, call this recency bias, but I'm saying 25%.
I would have said more like 40, but like it's still not great.
Yeah.
But you would there. It's kind of a weird thing because like there are many odds at which I'd be like, maybe, like, right? Like if you told me anywhere between 20 and 50, I'd be like, or even probably even like 60%. I'd be like, yeah, I could see that argument.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
All right, so that's your LGD news. So eHome qualified after not qualifying the last cycle.
Mm-hmm.
What's the difference?
Vici Gaming didn't try and qualify.
So you're saying they are who we thought they were?
I mean, look, at ESL, they had one good win. They 2-0'd Aster.
Yeah.
For the Chengdu qualifiers, they tied Vici and IG, and they beat RNG. That's one good win. Mm-hmm. At Dream League, they tied Vici and lost to IG and Aster. Mm-hmm. Like, none of those things are more than like a tiny bit of variance away from each other.
Yep.
So there you go.
Right. So they might be better than Aster, or they might be exactly on Aster's level. And I don't know about you, but my projection for their major performance will be right in line with Aster.
I mean, if you have Aster, eHome, and RNG, and you asked me to pick who was the best team of those three, I would essentially rock, paper, scissors with myself. I
have RNG a millimeter ahead of the other two, but I agree with you.
You didn't take that good segue. I segued you perfectly.
Rock, paper, scissors?
No, you have a question about RNG. I brought them in, and I gave you the segue, and you didn't take it. This is bad synergy. Lord.
All right. Jason, make me look smarter than I am. Actually, don't. Leave it all. All right. We knew IG was good, but we were not as sure about RNG. So they went to the grand final at the Bukavel Minor, where they lost to a shaky but surging Nigma team. So does their qualifying top two here raise them above the label that we've been applying, which is just another tier 2 China team?
No.
Thank you.
There are two tier 1 China teams, IG and Vici.
Yeah.
And there are a bunch of other teams that are like tier 2 China teams. They're RNG, eHome, Aster. I still think we put LGD in that group. Probably those four. And yeah. So no. I mean, like, are they maybe the head of that pack of four? Sure. But the gulf between them and IG is large right now. Safe to say?
Yeah, I'll buy it.
Yeah.
All right. And couldn't get through the China segment without talking about coronavirus. Have you seen any of the videos of Wuhan?
I have not been watching the videos now.
Oh, it's just like they'll have drones flying through the city that you can tell the city, is usually bustling, and there's just no one on the street. You'll see a car driving. It's creepy. Anyway, coronavirus hangs over the China qualifiers. Dark from Keen Gaming actually couldn't play because he was quarantined, according to reports. Does this affect your outlook for these Chinese teams when they arrive in Los Angeles?
I mean, first of all, we don't know that they're going to arrive in Los Angeles. We don't know
Do
that
you
they're
think
going to be there.
Yeah. What would
I
they
think
do?
they will, but
Yeah.
we don't know it. I mean, I would probably put like 80% chance that
They'll be there.
they'll be there. So that's first thing. It's got to be distraction.
Yeah.
I mean, like that's the right line. Yes, it affects them. How much it affects each team will depend a lot on the personalities of each individual, whether they have like friends, are good at compartmentalization.
Mm-hmm.
I could see the young players just being like, Yoda, let's play, like fuck everything. It doesn't affect IG, or I could see RNG, older players, being able to compartmentalize better. I don't know. I actually don't. I could see any of these scenarios playing out, but it's definitely not going to help them. Like, right? Like, I mean, what are you gonna say? Like,
I don't know. For the motherland.
yeah.
Yeah. All right. Southeast Asia?
Sure.
Cool. Let's see. The news. Fnatic, Geek Fam, and Adroit qualify for the major over IO. And then Boom Esports going to the minor again over your boys Reality Rift.
Why are they my boys?
They are not.
They're
not mine either.
Hang on. I noticed you didn't mention a team.
Who could I be leaving out here?
It's an excellent question. It's obviously our current DPC leaders. Where does it say that? PNC.
You're talking about
not showing up.
Oh wait. Oh yeah.
Not showing up.
Yeah. So while I was trying to write that scenario for Nigma, I also tried to think of a scenario for TNC that would fit the data. All right, and so check this, Aden. TNC, first of all, they've already qualified for TI, right?
Sure.
They're looking for a challenge. So they didn't boot camp, first of all. And then their coach actually hired a bunch of thugs wearing black ski masks to abduct the players in the middle of the night, drive them in circles, and then release them 1 hour before the matches start. Just saying, your match starts in 1 hour, better find a computer. So, March probably finds a LAN cafe. Armel finds a fan kid, goes back to the kid's apartment. KP's like at a shopping mall, playing on a demo PC. That's how I picture these guys playing based on their performance.
I mean, like I said, it's easier. Like, this team clearly, I don't want to say don't care, but I don't know if it's March's influence. The charitable outcome is that they were basically like, yo, we qualified so early. That's awesome. Don't have to fucking worry about it. Let's reconvene in 4 months. And sort of what it feels like.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, like, the panic level for that entirely depends on what they're saying. If this was planned, my panic level is a 0. Yeah. If this is like, wait, why the fuck aren't we winning and qualifying for stuff? My panic level is like a 9.5. Like,
yeah.
So I don't know. I don't have a panic level to give. I'm gonna assume it's more like a 0.
I agree, and it's not like you and I have our finger on the pulse of Filipino Dota, but I do think it would be bubbling up somewhere. And for example, I mean, I checked in on the TNC fan club today. Have not seen any rumblings in the TNC fan club of trouble. So no. I'm hopeful for them.
True.
Geek Fam, however,
yeah,
your friends on your fantasy team on a steady upward trajectory. So top 6 at the Summit Minor, 3rd at the Bukovel Minor, and now going to the major where Aden is going to be there to cheer them on in person. Raven and Co. So what is working for them?
Carl's better than Roya.
Yeah.
He's had a time to settle in. That's my bottom line for it.
Sure.
I'll be frank. I didn't watch any of them play. Honestly, like, no, don't have time for that. To be really frank. Here's the. They're playing faster. I mean, by the way, that's not a Raven specialty. 30-minute average wins, right? That's nuts. It's way lower than it was in previous qualifiers. Way lower. So I think that matters. I think in general, like playing fast, but it's just like it's a different change. They've got a new player. They've got rid of Dubu. They've got someone whose name escapes me off the top of my head. What's his name?
I'm on it. Whitemon,
yeah. I'm definitely gonna remember that for next time. But yeah, I mean, like and their average wins in the qual in 7.23 was 40 minutes. Their average wins in this qualifier were 30 minutes.
Yeah, well, yeah,
and also Carl's better than Royo.
Yep,
has had a chance to settle in. So
as
that's bottom line.
18 kills for every 10 deaths. Gotta like that.
Yeah.
Okay, and Adroit has adroitly qualified for a second major. Yeah. However, I do not have any special love for Team Adroit, and I'm wondering, IO, they've only qualified for a minor, but they have more pedigree on the roster. The IO, of course, as you remember, this is Mushi's team with Ohio and Bimbo and Ben-Hur and the Indonesian Miracle, or sorry, the Singaporean Miracle. They have more pedigree on the roster, and I like them better than Adroit for the rest of the season. Talk me out of it.
Well, Adroit's going to make a. So they were third at the Chengdu qualifiers and qualified. They were last at Dream League qualifiers. They were third at ESL. So with that pattern, we can assume they're going to make at least one more major, which is more than IO is going to make on average, or the over under for IO probably is. No, actually, here's the reason. It's like, why do you care so much about pedigree, man? There's a reason Ohio hasn't been on a good team in years. I get he's got pedigree, but like Nigma has pedigree. That doesn't mean that they're beating Liquid or Alliance.
You're just cherry picking stats now, Aiden. I refuse to buy this argument.
I mean, that's fine. I mean, like, I don't have any reason to dislike IO, and I don't have any reason to like Adroit. I just don't think that necessarily like having an opinion on that IO is going to be better than Adroit for the rest of the season, based just simply on their pedigree. Like, if those players were so good, I feel like Miracle, he's got more pedigree than the guys on Adroit. Like, so he's got a pedigree of being on teams and then leaving those teams because he wasn't good enough. Mushi has a pedigree of being good 5 years ago. Ohio has a pedigree of being Mushi's friend for 10 years. Like, what do you I like that. That's overly harsh on Ohio and Mushi. I just like it doesn't
destroyed. I love it.
Like, at some point you just have to like be like, look, by face, like, Adroit's better than IO right now.
I guess they are.
That doesn't mean they're going to be, but it does seem. I mean, you can have your opinion. And that's fine. And I don't even think like necessarily you're wrong. I just like don't know why you'd go out on a limb on that one, of all places.
I mean, what do we have to lose? Who's gonna roast me? Is Capitalist gonna hear this? Sorry, too soon.
We don't really have any Southeast Asia partisans in our Discord, so no one will probably call us on.
No,
we say something wrong about China. We fucking hear about it though, man. No,
we're not giving Keen Gaming nearly enough credit. All right.
Wait. Old 11's still good. I still supposed to say that every.
You'll never live that down, Aiden.
Oh, whatever.
Kind of like you eating your hat.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I swear to you, I will. I pay up. I'm just not very timely,
dude. I really feel like I should be like audio engineer Jason. I need a sound for I need a sound effect that like every time Aiden says I'm gonna do that, and we're gonna need to backload it into all the previous episodes where he said that.
Oh, whatever. Fuck off.
To make it sound like I knew all along that this was gonna drag out to infinity.
Yeah.
But I didn't know, Aiden. I thought you were a man of your word.
I have not yet proven one way or the other.
It's
I've given mild indications one way or the other.
It's been
strong indications.
All
right, anyways.
All right, Aiden. I'd like to remind our listeners that the glimpse is brought to you by OutdoorGamingPCs.com, the one-stop shop for all your outdoor gaming needs. And outdoor gamers, we heard you. One of the most frustrating things for an outdoor gamer is, where do you sit? You going to sit on a stool? Sit on a camp chair? Yeah. You want to give yourself intense back pain, maybe even scoliosis? Are you going to bring your indoor gaming chair outside? Sure. If you want to get mud inside those flimsy little caster wheels. Maybe you're on a hard surface. Those aren't level. You're going to be rolling away right when you want to lean into a high ground push. You going to sit on the floor or the bare ground? Please. OutdoorGamingPCs.com is proud to bring you the Disco Pony Outdoor Gaming Chair. This bad boy has 4 key features for outdoor gamers you're not going to find on any other model. So from the ground up, what's touching the ground? Not some flimsy wheels. This bad boy has hooves. You're going to keep a firm grip on the ground, whether you're on sand, grass, bare ground, the deck, the treehouse, wherever. What about surfaces that aren't level? No problem. The gyroscopic base is going to keep you upright. What about the rain, the snow, the elements? Well, the surface of this chair is a synthetic horsehair blend that you're going to find luscious and comfortable, resistant to the wet, good in hot or cold weather, never sticky. And of course, the Disco Pony has horns over the top to keep those stray branches and birds off your neck. Or if you already own the hood of a Avernus, to block out distractions, the horns are the most comfortable place possible to rest the hood. So don't wait. Get your Disco Pony outdoor gaming chair today at OutdoorGamingPCs.com. Or if you're not ready to invest in the chair, you can go to glimpsepod.com and get an OutdoorGamingPCs.com t-shirt. Proud sponsors of the Glimpse. All right, Aden. Are there any other regions in Dota?
There are 3 more. We're halfway. More than halfway, though.
Cool. How about North America?
Let's talk North America.
All right, the news. EG has qualified for a major.
Shocker.
Right? Along with them, Chaos Esports Club and friend of the podcast, Jack Chen, have also qualified over Business Associates. And for the minor, Business Associates and Fighting Pandas will be attending. Fighting Pandas beating Zoomies to take that last spot. All right, so we got to get into Chaos. So they ran through 2 different offlaners in their trial period. Those are Saberlight and DM. Then they finally decided to move MSS to the offlane, and then they picked up Beaver to play support. Pop quiz for you, Aden. Name Beaver's most relevant moment in Dota history.
Okay, so he played for Team Spirit for a bit when FNG was captain. I want to say maybe he was part of that like Team Spirit team that nearly eliminated, that EG had the epic comeback against, nearly got eliminated at like the Shanghai Major. Best guess.
I don't see any evidence of that. I think his I think his most relevant moments were finishing top 9 at ESL One Birmingham 2018 for Team Spirit.
He was on that team. He was on Beaver. Beaver was on the Team Spirit with Illidan God, DK Phobos, Beaver, and FNG. It wasn't Shanghai, it was the Super Major that nearly eliminated EG. Or maybe eliminated Liquid. I don't remember. No, it nearly eliminated EG, but Crit had an epic comeback with his like 700 damage smacks with Elder in a 60-minute game that he really should have lost. Anyways, continue. Sorry.
Oh yeah, look at that. I'm finding this right now. A 60-minute game.
I remember that base defense. He like 1v3'd them with Elder Titan. It was hilarious.
This was in the rare time where the first round of the lower bracket in the Super Major was best of 3s.
Anyways, sorry, go back.
Good job by you. All right. So they picked up Beaver, and Chaos now all of a sudden are good at Dota.
Yeah. Particularly, you know who's good at Dota? MSS.
Yeah, man.
He's fucking killing the off lane. 6.12 kills, 3.44 deaths, and 11.06 slash line. That's a excellent offlaner stats right there. But he is working it. Everything is, he's like, the rest of the team is playing fine. I mean, probably they had a really good qualifier, so everyone looks good. But MSS is definitely the man who stands out there on that team. We know he was a competent offlaner, but he's also played really good support. But this is outstanding. So I'm on the MSS train right now.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, and then Fighting Pandas, they have now made 1 major and 2 minors, which, without blowing up, by the way, frankly, much better than we would have given them credit for at the beginning of the season, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Question, Aden. What place are they in the DPC standings?
I would guess 11th.
Very close. They're currently in 12th place. So on the chopping block, but currently in the clubhouse for a TI qualification. Can you name who's in 13th?
I don't know.
It is their fellow North Americans who we just talked about, Chaos.
Oh, nice. Well,
who do you think has a higher trajectory?
Chaos. Not really worried about it.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, and Chaos is on your fantasy team, yes?
Yes, they are.
All right.
Every team that tried to qualify on my fantasy team qualified.
Wow, look at you.
Pichigami didn't try.
Amazing. All right, and then business associates. I keep hearing this term, and I had to look them up. Who are business associates, Aden?
They're ex-J-Storm.
Yep.
Fear's team with Moo. This is sad. I can't name. Hang on. Fear is the 5.
Yep.
Moo is the 1. 9 is the mid.
Nice.
The 4 is a South American whose name escapes me, but he played for Infamous, I'm pretty sure.
Very nice. It's Moose or Moaz.
Moose, yeah. They're offlaner. I couldn't tell you.
It's Brax. Very nice.
Okay. All right.
Cool.
Yeah. Business associates. Remember, they are already potentially qualified for TI. Like, they've got a shot at it. Although I guess maybe not. Did they lose their points? But they kept them all. So is it really organization?
No, yeah,
Valve needs to make a decision.
J-Storm owns the points.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like if it's 5, I feel like it's 5 players. Valve, give it to them.
No, but you're right. Especially if J-Storm is just not an org anymore.
Yeah. So yeah, they're currently 8th place. So this matters. What was the question other than who are they?
Yeah, that was the whole question.
You there you go. We know how business associates are.
They are going to the minor. That's
they perform very clearly as the 3rd place team in this region.
Yep. They are really, really who we thought they were.
Yep.
All right, Aden, to your pet region, CIS.
Woo!
And I will tell you the news is that Na'Vi continue to be the best team in that region. Na'Vi and VP have qualified for ESL One Los Angeles over Hellraisers, and then Hellraisers makes no noise whatsoever in the minor qualifier as Gambit and how do we pronounce this one? Forz? Those two teams, Gambit and Forz, qualify over Cyber Legacy.
Too bad. I kind of liked Cyber Legacy. They seemed fun.
This is Palantimos, Pikachu, Chappie, Bignum, and Happy Durara.
I mean, okay, so Chappie doesn't seem fun in that sense. He seems actually not fun, if you want to be honest about it. But yeah, Cyber Legacy, they seem kind of fun.
Well, but this whole region is such a rock, paper, scissors, like where Hellraisers is this close to going to the major, and then they can't even sniff the minor.
Yeah, they got crushed in the minor qualifier. No, it's true.
And Gambit, on the other hand, who we had such high hopes for at the beginning of the season, just seem like they're still a step behind.
Well, to be fair, they did lose their best player.
That is true.
Yeah.
Yes,
So I mean, I thought this was about about expectations given what happened.
That's true.
Or like best case, this is close to best case scenario.
That is true.
Let's talk about the important things here. Did the VP changes make this team better, or are they just good versus CIS? And I have an answer for you. The only stat that matters, because there are many stats that will tell you, well, EpiKid had better stats than Kuman or anything like that. But here's the one stat that matter. Kuman played 11 different heroes for VP. That's a qualifier.
And how many of them were different Phantom Lancer like illusions?
I don't think he played Phantom Lancer once. He played 11
Whoa.
different heroes between that and we play right now so far for today. And he's got wins on 9 of them, which is like more different hero wins than EpiKid had his entire career with VP, which may or may not be true, but at least is close.
Directionally accurate.
So yeah.
Cool.
The versatility already makes me excited. It must make Solo like less sad because he no longer has to pick Phantom Lancer in the first phase.
Yeah, I feel like that hamstrings you a little bit as a captain when you have to pick your one position first overall.
And everyone knows it's coming.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I'm glad to hear you with a little bounce in your step about VP.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm still not hopeful I'm going to get to see them actually play at ESL One. Finishing top 8 or whatever plays on those days is a real stretch for them, I think.
Yeah.
Too bad.
You got anything else to say?
Nope. It's good.
Cool.
One more region left.
We're doing it, Aden. And that region is South America.
Yep.
All right.
We had surprise team Thunder Predator and Beast Coast. Not surprising. Qualify for the major. They beat Furia in the game to go, and then No Ping also qualified for the minor, also over Furia, which means Pain Gaming did not. Lorton pop quiz. How many players total can you name from Thunder Predator and No Ping?
Oh, it's lucky I'm on it right here, and I did look these up. Before I looked them up, I could have named. Well, see, here's the thing. I couldn't have named a single player on No Ping, although I do know who Tavo is.
I know 40R, Tavo, Constable. I know all of them. That's a legit team. Theolacor, they've all been at things.
Oh, for sure. Right, in the Thunder Predator roster, a lot of these names look familiar, especially Kotaro Hayama.
Yeah.
Anyway, did you listen to the interview with Duster on position 6 from Furia?
I did not.
Oh, okay.
No,
he's just like a really bright young kid, and he's talking about how Furia is being really, really patient and like looking to build something long term with their team. So I'm certain that Dan Offen, who has shown many symptoms of podcast Stockholm syndrome in the past, I'm sure he's very disappointed to see Furia not qualify. However, knowing what we know from the interview, I'm sure that there will be patience and continuing to build. So that's a good thing. But I was rooting for Furia just because I heard that nice interview with Duster.
It is nice that they're from an organization that has a real, like, I mean, they're not just a Dota team. Like Furia is much better known as a CS:GO team.
Yeah,
that is like reasonably successful. So like I feel like that does give you a little bit of like breathing room. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah,
could be wrong.
No, I think you're right.
But, yeah.
Totally. So yeah, and then Thunder Predator go into the major.
Yeah,
can't say that we have the highest of hopes for them, but they're not going to get embarrassed. That just doesn't happen anymore.
Nope.
Cool.
Maybe they'll be a secret. I can only hope, right?
Well, if No Ping wins the minor, Tavo was on that team, that SG Esports team.
Oh, good. I would not have known that off the top of my head.
All right. Low prio, Aden.
Let's do it.
All right. These are stories that we do feel compelled to comment on. We don't feel compelled to put at the top of the show. And OG Ruby submitted to our Discord the video from El Wono called Dota 2 is About to Die. Aiden, you watched it, yes?
I watched part of it.
Cool. No, it was a tough watch for me personally. I just thought the pace was a touch slow. No offense, El Wono. I could tell that you put a ton of research into it.
Mm-hmm.
The video argues, and I think correctly, that the player base of Dota has matured. It's left casual players behind. which leads to a lot of smurfing, which makes the game less fun for new players to get into, and generally makes an endless cycle of misery. And so at the end, the video seems to argue we need places where Smurfs don't want to play, which he calls unscored games. I was curious, Aden, is that different from unranked?
It wasn't clear to me.
Okay, cool.
I don't really know. Does unscored game mean that like you're just like, I mean, I guess like, I mean, like, think about other sports. Like basketball has just like shooting around.
Yeah,
It's a casual game, but like no one's keeping score at all. Like you don't have a score counter. Maybe that's what they mean. Maybe they just want like that. I possibly.
Yeah, I wonder what that would look like.
I mean, it would look like the last hit trainer or something like that, right?
Yeah, but with other people in it, maybe. Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right, and then a related question from alert listener and Discord admin Nestico. Everyone kicks around their pet solutions to whatever issues they think Dota has right now. In your opinion, what is it about our beloved game that needs a new coat of paint going into year 11 that is making the game more playable for players, not necessarily tweaking the pro scene?
So
Aden, fix smurfing. You have 15 seconds.
So I think the biggest problem with Dota has already been identified. And that problem with Dota is that you don't like Dota's a team game, they don't play as a team. Right? You know what? I have more fun going and playing pickup basketball with people I already know. Like, you know, I don't know everybody, but like, you know, than if I just like randomly go and play at the park. Right?
Well, and
so
and
it's better.
Our best times playing Dota together, it was when like we had 6 or 7 people who were in a group chat who were like all looking to play Dota, and like we would have 5 stacks weekly.
Yeah. So here's the problem. And I actually don't have a solution to this because I think the problem is that if you want people to start playing with each other and like have that sort of and get a continuity and stuff like going, the games need to be shorter. I mean, even if I go play pickup, right? I get on a basketball, a game might be 15, 20 minutes long.
Exactly.
So if I go play basketball for an hour and a half, I might get to play with the same team 3-4 times, same group of guys, or at least some variation of it.
Yeah.
Dota's too long. A Dota game counting like picks and everything like that takes 50 minutes. So if you only have 2 hours to play, you get a maximum 2 games, and oftentimes you only get 1, right? So it's just it takes away that continuity. But so the answer from that perspective would be turbo. I fucking hate turbo.
Yeah, it doesn't work. It
doesn't
work.
Dota has an amazing pacing that actually I think works really well. It just doesn't quite. It doesn't quite match it, you know. So like, there needs to be some incentives. So that's where I'd go. I don't have the exact solution. I can see the problem. I can see what like the solution needs to accomplish. I just don't know what mechanic does that.
Yeah. How do you make a 15-minute Dota game that's still fun and like satisfying in the way that a good Dota game is?
Yeah.
I don't know. All right.
I don't know either.
Last hits, please.
Lorton, we are almost out of time. Let's farm that last hit. Those last hits. Yeti 007 wants to know what other non-Dota podcasts do we listen to in our spare time? I don't know. Do you listen to podcasts in your spare time? I feel like I listen to podcasts when I'm doing other things.
That's not spare time. Doing the dishes is not spare time.
I do it like a lot biking to work.
Yeah,
I wouldn't call it my spare time.
it's true. Like if I'm laid out on the couch, I'm probably reading a book or possibly playing Nintendo Switch. So yeah, I don't know about the spare time thing, but I agree with you in that aspect. 3 of my favorite podcasts would be Akimbo by Seth Godin. This would be high-minded shit for people who want to change the world. I love the Rewatchables from the Ringer Podcast Network, especially because half the movies they like to, like relive are movies that I've watched like dozens of times from my childhood, like Happy Gilmore and like Face Off and stuff like that. And then I also love the Tim Ferriss Show, which in my opinion is the best interview podcast out there. Aden.
I mean, you've heard me. Obviously, I listen to the Bill Simmons podcast. We've discussed that before on the show, and the fact that it was sort of, in some ways, it's inspired some aspects of our show.
Yep.
What other ones do I listen to? The ones I listen to the most, and I'm not embarrassed to say this. Dude, Bachelor recap podcast. I'm all in. I don't listen to one. I listen to two every week.
Love it.
I listen to Bachelor Party, and then I listen to Here to Make Friends.
Oh, yeah.
And then the other one that I listen to the most is Arsblog. I usually don't listen to all of Arsblog, but like nice, a little Arsenal news.
Oh, and by the way, I think I've mentioned this on the show before, but if you love Harry Potter, then you have to listen to Binge Mode Harry Potter on the Ringer Podcast Network. Yeah, no, it
bears repeating.
Dude, it's so fucking good. I cannot emphasize highly enough. If you like Harry Potter, just listen to those podcasts. I'm trying to count how many times I cried listening to that podcast, but it's it's in the high double digits. 99 times or something like that. So that's my last recommendation there. Binge Mode Harry Potter. They also did Binge Mode Star Wars, and it was good too. Although I'm a bigger Harry Potter than a Star Wars person.
Fair.
Aden, Windstrike from your beloved CIS region just announced they picked up the Modus Unity roster. Boy, why did we not mention them? They picked up the Modus Unity roster after they got rid of Aloha Dance, Afterlife, Roger, and Arse Zeke. Do you recognize a single one of these players? DK Fogus, Kikid, TSA, Young G, Chiki Ruao?
I mean, did I recognize them before these qualifiers? No.
Okay.
Would I recognize them now? If you said who's DK Fogus, I would be like a Dota player. I probably wouldn't remember what team he was on. Or Young G. I mean, didn't we literally discuss recently whether Young G was maybe it was in the Discord, whether Young G was named after like G, the Dota player, or something else? Like,
oh, interesting.
These are questions. None of them. Far more interesting though. Roger is teamless. This was a guy who we thought was the best position 4, or maybe at least one of the top 3 position 4s, like 2 years ago
in the world.
I mean, I can't find. Yeah, in the world, can't find a team.
Yeah, man.
Weird.
How the mighty have taken a break.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Oh,
all right, Lorton.
Also, this reminds me. Young G reminds me that there's probably room in this Dota world for a game of Dota player or hip hop artist. Maybe another listener could make us a game.
I like it. All right, Lorton. A person from whom? How do you pronounce that?
Huomao
TV admitted to match fixing in an online Dota tournament. Is he fixing his own game, or was he like getting players to fix their game?
I think he was brokering a match fixing deal where he was like, "Hey, if you want to throw a match, I know somebody who could pay you a few thousand kwai." Anyways,
he's been fired. Huomao TV tweeted this proactively. What do you make of it?
Dude, I am, that I am so skeptical of everything, especially something that is like tweeted out or like advertised voluntarily, especially coming from China. So my assumption is that there are 10 or 20 more people in that org who have ties to this, and this is just like the sacrificial lamb.
Yeah.
So that's my super cynical China take. Aden, alert listener and Discord admin Camouflage wants to know, how do Aden and Lorton know one another? I don't know who this fucking guy is.
We grew up in the same small town in Indiana.
Yes.
Lorton was 1 grade ahead of me, and Lorton's sister was 1 grade behind me.
Mm-hmm.
And I definitely actually knew your sister, Betsy, better than you, probably.
Oh, yeah.
Till we started playing Dota together after college. But our parents knew each other and were friends. And I think that's what happened first. But I actually don't know how they met each other and became friends. It's my mom and your mom, at least especially.
Yeah, I don't actually know how that happened either. Wow, super satisfying answer. No, one thing
So Kit and Kelsey were friends, and
yeah,
we went to the same school and became friends with each other. Yeah, it happened.
2 quick stories about our childhood that I think Aden will permit to go on air. First of all, Aden's family threw the absolute best Christmas party in all of Greencastle, Indiana.
Truth.
Where so like, and it was good for adults, good for kids. There would be this like rollicking crazy kids playroom, but then on the other side of the house there was the choir director of the DePauw University Choir would be accompanying on the piano as a bunch of really good singers sang selections from the Messiah. So like as a choir nerd, I would bounce back and forth between whatever Aden and his crazy brother were doing and singing the Hallelujah chorus. So that party was dope.
Yep, it was good.
The second thing to know is that Kelsey, Aiden's mom, pulled me aside when I was a senior in high school.
Do I know this?
I don't know if you do. I think this might be a dramatic reveal. You know half of this story.
No,
there's nothing untoward about it. She pulled me aside and she asked, "Are you going to go to college immediately after graduating high school?" And I said, "Yes." And she said, "Why? Have you considered any alternatives, like taking a gap year? Because that's something some people do and have a lot of success with." And I said, "Honestly, I just kind of feel like going to college because I want to go to college." And Kelsey said, "Totally fine, no problem at all." But she had like planted this bug in my ear that, yeah, a gap year is just something you do, something you take. And then when Aiden's brother went to take a gap year, she freaked out and she was like, "Kit, I don't know what I'm going to do. Why does Kim want to take this gap year?"
Yeah, fair.
Yeah. So anyway, that was the story.
Fair. Okay.
All right.
Cool.
Sign off joke. MG Wisney. This is not self-referential at all. You guys are going to totally get that. Because we talked about what a busman's holiday is at the top of this podcast. What is your favorite type of bus to drive? And where do you like to go on your busman's holiday, Aden? While you're thinking about that, I'll remind our listeners, you want to get in on our next watch party? Join our Discord. You can find the link at glimpsepod.com. Remember to follow Aden on Twitter at OmegaManDota. You can follow me on Twitter at SharkButler. Thanks to Jason Bates, audio engineer. You can find his portfolio at batessound.com, and that would be a great place to go, especially if your business is trying to revitalize their podcast. All right, Aden, what is your favorite type of bus to drive, and where do you go on your busman's holiday?
Having never driven a bus, I feel like it's difficult to answer that question. But if I had to say, if I got a chance to drive a double decker, I'm driving a fucking double decker. You know that, right? Like, have to. And since a busman's holiday, I have to go to something related to my job. I mean, I think I can stretch my job to be like a super nerdy physics, robotics, like camp. Does that count?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That's the best case. There you go. That's what I got. I don't know. What about you?
Okay. Well, first of all, my favorite type of bus, I don't drive buses at all, but like you and I were both college athletes. Those really nice motor coaches that you take to away games, that's my favorite type of bus. Like the one that feels like an airplane, but a little nicer.
Yeah.
All right. And my busman's holiday, honestly, like my job is I'm an analyst. And so every time I record an episode of The Glimpse is basically a busman's holiday for me.
Are you going to claim that going to the ESL
No,
LA is
absolutely not. No, it's more like when my wife looks over my shoulder and sees me poring over a spreadsheet, she has no idea whether I'm doing Glimpse pod work or whether I'm doing the job that I get paid for.
That's true. Fair enough. I got to say, like when I'm at work and I've got a spreadsheet open, people don't always know either. Spreadsheets are awesome, man.
They're the best.
All right. Until next time, this is Aden Richards. Back you go.
We end up, 113. It's good.
We had a few tangents there. I feel like it was actually like one of the highest like non-Dota related nonsense.
Yeah, no, I had fun with that. All right.